Imagine strolling down the vibrant streets of 17th century Paris, where the air is filled with hints of lavender, orange blossom, and other less pleasant scents. As you walk, you see men and women elegantly moving past you, their heads adorned with extravagant piles of powdered hair, standing tall and proud. These hairstyles were not just whimsical fashion trends, they were powerful declarations, serving as both fashion statements and protective barriers. Hidden beneath those elaborate wigs were secrets of a turbulent past, filled with illness, deceit, royal scandals, and the relentless pursuit of maintaining a flawless image in a society where appearances were paramount. Beyond mere hair and makeup, this is a captivating narrative of how a mysterious disease sparked a bizarre yet intricate fashion trend in Western history, showcasing the profound influence that a simple wig could wield over an entire empire. For over a century, it was absolutely unheard of for a European gentleman, particularly those belonging to the nobility, to appear in public without a majestic powdered wig adorning his head. These extravagant wigs, so elaborate that they could brush against the roofs of carriages, held much more significance than mere ornamentation. They were intricately linked to one's social standing, political affiliations, advancements in medicine, and a captivating enigma that was gradually coming to light. Back in the day, powdered wigs were not just a quirky historical oddity, they were a big deal. Believe it or not, the trend of wearing powdered wigs was actually linked to one of the most terrifying and mysterious diseases of all time: syphilis. Picture this. It's the late 15th century, and Europe is in a frenzy as syphilis emerges in a brutal and alarming way. These wigs, which are now seen as a curious relic of the past, were once a symbol of a tumultuous and fearful era. In a time devoid of antibiotics, advanced medical treatments, and limited knowledge about how infections spread, diseases held a mysterious and frightening allure. The onset of syphilis was marked by subtle signs, a smattering of sores, an occasional rash. However, as the illness advanced, it wreaked havoc on the body, causing flesh to deteriorate, limbs to waste away, noses to collapse, and even patches of hair to fall out. The devastating effects of syphilis left its victims disfigured and ostracized by society, their fate sealed by a disease that seemed to possess a malevolent, almost mythic power. In the opulent courts and meticulously structured societies of 17th century Europe, one's appearance held immense power and significance. It wasn't merely about looking good, but about asserting dominance and influence. The symptoms of imperfection and neglect weren't just physically agonizing, they were utterly devastating, capable of shattering reputations and undermining authority. Beauty and grooming weren't just superficial pursuits, they were symbolic expressions of one's social standing, self-control, prosperity, and ethical integrity. The external image one projected wasn't just a facade, but a reflection of their entire being, shaping perceptions, defining relationships, and determining one's place in the intricate web of society. Long, luscious locks were highly coveted and heavily debated in the realm of physical attributes. It wasn't just a passing fad, but a powerful symbol of life force, prestige, and even divine blessings. Having flowing tresses was not just about fashion, but also about conveying status, suggesting affluence, and hinting at leisurely hours pampering oneself in luxurious salons, with skilled hairstylists working their magic. Hair was not just hair, it was a powerful symbol of social status, a walking advertisement of one's place in society. The longer, cleaner, and more meticulously styled the hair, the stronger the message it conveyed to the world. Therefore, when a serious illness like syphilis crept in and started to strip away this emblem of status and beauty, the impact was not just felt on a personal level, it reverberated throughout society, causing public devastation and shame. Hair loss was not just considered a small issue or an unlucky health incident. It was frequently viewed as a symbol of personal weakness or evidence of controversy. A thinning scalp could trigger gossip about immoral behavior, financial struggles, or illness. Among the aristocracy, whose image was closely linked to their looks, experiencing baldness was like losing status in society, leading to such deep embarrassment that individuals would go to extreme measures to conceal their baldness. It was a time when talking openly about illness, especially if it was related to anything even remotely connected to sexuality, was considered taboo. Instead of sharing their pain and struggles, individuals resorted to deception and secrecy. In this environment, a unique solution emerged, not from a scientific discovery, but from a transformation in craftsmanship. Men started disguising their balding heads with intricate and decorative hairpieces, turning their vulnerability into a fashion statement. Women in the past used various techniques like padded curls, weaves, and add-ons to make their thinning hair look fuller. What started as a simple way to disguise hair loss evolved into a lavish and influential trend that reshaped cultural norms. Wigs didn't originate from self-indulgence, but from a profound necessity to conceal, ultimately revolutionizing the world of fashion. Naturally, a trend doesn't solidify its influence until it receives recognition from royalty. In this instance, the source of such meticulous image cultivation was none other than King Louis XIV of France, famously known as the Sun King, a monarch deeply fixated on appearances. Louis was more than just a king. He embodied the essence of French grandeur, his very existence a testament to opulence and magnificence. From the opulent splendor of his palace at Versailles to the radiant beams that graced his portraits, every aspect of Louis's persona was carefully crafted to exude authority, vitality, and eternal glory. When he started going bald in his teens, the young king encountered a major dilemma. Being bald didn't align with the image he was trying to project. Determined to maintain his appearance, Louis took an extraordinary step. He meticulously constructed a new persona, piece by piece. Employing a team of up to 48 personal wig artisans, he commissioned elaborate headpieces to hide his thinning hair and enhance his majestic aura. These were no ordinary wigs. Each one was a work of art tailored to preserve his regal facade. His hairpieces were not just ordinary accessories, but towering symbols of power and grandeur, meticulously designed to enhance his regal aura. Each wig resembled a majestic crown, but on a grander scale, exuding versatility and communicating his high status with unmatched eloquence. The king's bold fashion statements set off a trend that quickly swept through the aristocracy, with men of noble birth rushing to emulate Louis's majestic appearance by adorning themselves with similar extravagant wigs. Wearing a wig wasn't simply about following fashion trends, it was a statement of aligning oneself with authority and influence. Refusing to wear a wig meant rejecting the norms of court culture. The peruke, as these wigs were formerly known, was considered essential attire for royal functions, social gatherings, and political assemblies. Beyond the elaborate decorations and powdered curls, wigs served a deeper, more functional purpose. These masks were meticulously crafted to conceal the unspeakable, hiding not just balding heads, but also festering sores, discolored skin, and disfiguring scars from diseases like syphilis and smallpox. They acted as protective shields against criticism, transforming imperfections into elegance, masking signs of sickness and infestation with a veil of sophistication. Lice infestations were rampant, spreading like wildfire due to the lack of personal hygiene practices and the scarcity of sterilized combs. Head lice were a pesky problem that plagued many individuals. However, an unconventional solution emerged through the use of wigs. People would shave their heads underneath the wigs, making it more convenient to boil the wig to eradicate any lice infestation, rather than attempting to delouse their own natural hair. This innovative approach by wig makers led to the development of specialized techniques to cleanse, treat, and repowder wigs, revitalizing them with a fresh aroma and renewed vitality. Imagine a whimsical day at the hair salon, but for wigs. The wigs transformed into intricate works of art, while the powder used to give them that classic white hue, evolved into a fashionable statement. Nowadays, when we picture powdered wigs, we tend to envision them in plain white. However, the truth is far more vibrant, especially for women of the upper echelons of society. Shades like powdered violet, blue, grey, and even delicate pastel pinks were all the rage, each colour reflecting personal flair or following the latest seasonal trends. Let's talk about the ingredients used in wigs back in the day. Powder wasn't simply there for decoration, it served a purpose. It not only masked any unpleasant odors, but also provided volume and helped the wig keep its shape. Different people had different preferences when it came to powder. Some opted for rice powder, while others preferred starch or talcum powder. And then there were those who took it to the extreme by using chalk or even plaster of Paris. You can imagine that these heavy duty powders weren't exactly gentle on the scalp. But what really sealed the deal was the enchanting scent. Powders blended with lavender, rose, or citrus oils not only masked the less pleasant odors of the time, but also added a touch of sophistication to the air. Imagine a world without deodorant, where the fragrance of one's hair held a captivating allure akin to magic. This led to a society where artificial hair was donned by almost everyone, regardless of gender or social status, creating a lavish and aromatic atmosphere that enveloped all who dwelled within it. The bigger the wig, the better the disguise. Wigs became all the rage across Europe, adorning the heads of both royalty and ordinary folk alike. Each wig was unique in its own way, but not all wigs were created equal. The concept of a big wig originated during this period, symbolizing individuals of great importance who could splurge on the most extravagant and oversized wigs available. It was a bold statement, a clear demonstration of wealth and status. In the past, having tall hair was a symbol of high social status. It was such a big deal that in the late 1600s, France set up a whole guild just for making wigs to control the growing demand. By the 1770s, there were around 1,000 skilled wig makers in France, creating extravagant pieces that could cost a regular worker many months' worth of wages. The trend of wearing elaborate wigs had truly taken over society, with people investing heavily in their hair to show off their wealth and importance. As soon as the aristocrats started wearing wigs, it became all the rage. People from all walks of life, from blacksmiths to merchants to craftsmen, began dusting their hair with powder and parading around like royalty. This unexpected trend shift left the elite feeling shocked and uneasy. There was a memorable incident where a French noble, the Marquis de Mirabeau, was taken aback when he discovered that a handsomely dressed man he had met was actually the son of his blacksmith. The aristocracy was thrown into an identity crisis when they saw the lower classes adopting their style. In response, the wealthy decided to up their game by creating even more intricate wigs. These wigs were adorned with jewels, feathers, miniature ships, and even bird cages. Some women went to such extremes that their wigs were so elaborate that they needed scaffolding to support their weight and maintain their shape. The tale of the powdered wig is a fascinating one that showcases human creativity and vanity in a unique light. It demonstrates how trends in fashion do not solely arise from artistic inspiration, but also stem from health concerns, self-doubt, and the desire to emulate others. Originally used to hide ailments, the wig soon became a statement piece, capturing the spotlight and evolving into a cultural icon. Its journey from a practical need to a symbol of authority and ultimately to a relic of fashion history is a captivating narrative that continues to linger in paintings, exhibitions, and phrases such as Bigwig, embodying a bygone era of opulence and sophistication. So the next time you come across that word or catch a glimpse of an aged painting portraying a dignified figure with a billowy mane of white hair, reflect on the fact that it wasn't merely a fashion choice. It signified survival, conveyed social standing, and even hinted at scandalous tales. This distinctive look originated from a simple patch of hair disappearing, sparking a cultural phenomenon that transcended mere aesthetics.